get real tricky when you're just jumping in. You're like, it's a hobby, I love it, it's fun, but then you start to make money from it, and then you grow quick, and then now you've agreed to a contract of way less than you should have, and you can't get out of it. Come to you guys with a new video. So in today's video, we're going to get into the legal tea, okay, about influencer marketing agreements, influencer marketing contracts. So I myself, as an influencer, I know the word has this negative stigma on it, but honestly, it's not a bad thing. Like, we need to just cut that out. Stop with making the word such a bad thing. Are there some people that are influencers that are influencing the right thing? Sure, maybe, but not in this, not over here, not in our little internet corner, okay, not with my internet family. But I think the word is positive to some extent. Think about it. You influence your family, your friends. Like, girl, I'll be like, sis, I just bought this new necklace from this company, you have to get it, I love it. And then your family purchases. Or you go to a nice little brunch spot with your friends, you like, y'all, do you see these pancakes with these pancakes? So, and that's a form of influencing. It's really a simple concept, but there's a lot of different layers to being an influencer on the internet, or a digital content creator, or a content creator, however you like to classify it. So with that being said, if you are interested in getting in this space, whether that's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, blogging, you name it, you need a contract. You need a contract, some type of an agreement. It doesn't have to be drafted by an attorney. However, I am an attorney. I'm a licensed attorney, for those of you that don't know. So for me, it works because not only am I a licensed attorney and I can review the contracts and I understand the legal terms and the legalities and all the little nitty gritty things that the company try to sneak in there, but you don't know. Listen, let me tell y'all right now, I edit at least, I'd say I edit like 80% of the contracts that I receive. Some of them are decent or fine. I'm like, oh, you know what? It's a short-term kind of project, so I don't need to go too nitty-gritty into the details. But honestly, I read every single contract from the very tippy top to the very bottom, even all the fine print, the small print, the baby print, the big print, the medium print, all the prints. You need to read the contract thoroughly. I'm kind of jumping the gun, y'all, because this is so serious. Y'all, I've just heard too many horror stories about people in the influencing marketing industry getting just effed over because they didn't read the contract, or because they signed a contract they didn't quite understand without reaching out to an attorney or doing a Google search. Something says, where is my legal tea cup? Hold on. Let's get into this tea, because, okay, it's hot. As I was saying, y'all, I have been in this influencer content creating space since 2014, and I've had some ups, some downs, some good contracts, some bad contracts. And then once I got to law school, I really started to realize the terms that I needed to start to look out for. I started to understand the importance of a contract, and actually the benefit of having a contract, not only for you as a potential content creator, influencer, or a current influencer content creator, but as well for the business and the brand. It's really a partnership kind of thing. You're going into a contract together to benefit you both. That is the key thing. You want to make sure that it benefits you both, because think about it. If I draft a contract, of course I'm going to draft it in the best light for myself. So when you receive a contract from a brand or a company or a business or from a friend, anybody, of course their idea is to draft it in the benefit for them. So you want to make sure that that benefit is mutual. So you both have something you're giving and something you're taking. It's a give and a take, okay? A pull and a tug. So that really just hit my first point. This whole spiel in the beginning is you need a contract, period. Even if it's something small, it could be $100, it could be a $50 exchange, it could just be you receiving product, depending on what that conversation is. And if they're expecting you to do something in exchange for the product, I think it'd be perfectly fine to do a short little agreement. It does not have to be super long, super formal, but just something, even if it's via email, that could still be a form of contract and legally binding. You want something where both parties have agreed to XYZ terms, period. So I'm gonna go over just a few key terms that you should look for as far as influencer marketing goes. So as far as if you're a content creator, blogger, influencer, YouTuber, all of those kind of terms, here are some key things that I try to look for. First thing you want to look for is when the deliverables are due. So of course you read through the entire contract, and these are just a few things that I go back through and I highlight myself to kind of just alert myself, hey, this is something I need to look at, or hey, this is something I need to negotiate. Also, don't be afraid to negotiate the contract. Just because you receive something the first set, double check. Don't be afraid to negotiate again. Send in edits, proofread, and double check and ask questions if need be. But so I highlight the deliverable times and the dates. So I need to see, okay, am I able to give this content on this specific day that they have provided to me, or does it collide, or does it interfere with another set of another contract that I have with another company on that date? So I always like to check that first. So I highlight that. The next thing I look for is any type of exclusivity clause. So exclusivity means you will only be able to use that brand for X amount of time. So for example, if I'm using a lipstick, that lipstick company may say you cannot promote any other lipstick companies for 30 days. So with that, you can charge more because you're missing out essentially on any other opportunities during those 30 days. So usually 30 days isn't too bad, and I can kind of, negotiate that. However, if they want you to only use one lipstick brand for 6 months, you're missing out on other money. They need to pay you. They need to pay you so that if somebody else reaches out to you, which is still the risk, but if somebody else reaches out to you and say, hey, I want you to use this lipstick brand, and you're like, I can't because I'm already in this other contract, and you're missing out on X, Y, Z money, you need to feel comfortable like, okay, you know what, it's fine because me and the other brand, they paid me for this, blah, blah, blah. But there still will be times where it's like, dang, I'm missing out on some money. So that's the risk. That's the risk, but that's where, again, negotiating comes into play. Talk to an attorney. Talk to an attorney that specializes in influencer marketing and influencer agreements. Also, speak to other influencers. See what they do. This shouldn't be this big thing where no one's talking about how much influencers are getting paid. Yes, I understand that under contracts, yes, we cannot disclose some things. That's just how it is. So, deliverable date and time, exclusivity clause. Next, I want to talk about the confidentiality clause, since I kind of mentioned that. Also something I highlight because I want to see what can I disclose. For me, I show y'all a lot of the behind the scenes. I want to bring you guys along the ride and show you guys just like the nitty gritty things that people don't really discuss, or some people do, but they can't to a certain extent because of the contract. So I always like to read that. I also just like to see what the brand finds as private information, I guess. So it's always interesting to read those confidentiality clauses and highlight that to see, okay, this brand really doesn't want me to talk about the deliverables, but this brand really doesn't want me to talk about the pay. I just find that interesting, and I think it's just something interesting to note when you're reviewing these contracts, to kind of see where the brand's mind is and where they're like, their head is about those kind of things. To me, it sheds a lot of light on that company and stuff they don't want to disclose, and maybe they're not paying me enough, and that's why they don't want me to talk about it. The next thing I look for is licensing and usage rights. Essentially, this is, say I hire a photographer and they take my photo. Do they own the rights? Do I own those rights? Things like that. The company wants to make sure that you are the person that owns the rights, so they don't have to jump through hoops if they do want to repost your photos, or they do want to negotiate with you with a separate contract and pay you for like specific marketing materials. Maybe they want to use your photo on a storefront, but if you don't own those rights, then you can't transfer your license, and you can't transfer your usage to that company, etc. So that's also a place where I look for if they want an extreme amount of just deliverables that will require the usage of my likeliness and my license that I do own into other areas such as a storefront or commercials, etc. I'm gonna charge more. Y'all gotta see these different little clauses and different little things that the company wants you to add on to your original deliverable, like Instagram feed post. It's like, okay, I can take an Instagram feed post, but that Instagram feed post is gonna cost you more because you want to check out my specific licenses and usage rights, and you want to use my photo for this and that outside of Instagram, and you also want to be the only company that I'm promoting in this specific area, genre of industry for a certain amount of time, and all those things add up to a higher price, of course, than production costs, because yes, you're paying for that Instagram photo, and you're also paying for exposure to my audience. You're paying for the swipe up link, and It's a lot of behind the scenes. I hope I didn't lose you guys, but let's bring it back. You have to remember that your face is your brand when you're an influencer. So they need to pay for that. They can't just use your likeliness and throw your photo everywhere, because somebody might see that photo of you in a shirt, for instance, and be like, I only bought that because I saw Cameron promoted on it. That is valuable. That is your likeliness. That should be paid for. I'm just saying. Also, just to kind of throw some terms out there to you about usage rights, I do have notes, so I do want to read this from my notes. So there are two different types of usage rights and licenses. Of course, there are probably more, but this is kind of really general. There's the non-digital and digital. So non-digital would be ads, billboards, magazines, so essentially things that are online, digital content. Then digital would be websites, newsletters, Instagram, social media, things that are online. So those are just the differences. Again, a lot of contracts are just heavily terminology based. So let me know down in the comment section below if you guys would like me to do just like a general contract terminology kind of thing. I'm thinking of creating just a freebie just so you guys can reference them, because I know there's a lot of people that are starting to get into content creating, and I want to make sure you're getting into it with the right foot forward and know like what your value is and know what you should be looking out for and what you should be expecting from brands and vice versa, because it can get real tricky when you're just jumping and you're like, it's a hobby, I love it, it's fun, but then you start to make money from it and then you grow quick. And then now you've agreed to a contract of way less than you should have, and you can't get out of it, and you don't have it's just, it gets real tricky real quick, because you got to think these brands and companies, a lot of them have attorneys, and then a lot of us content creators don't. Again, luckily for me, I am an attorney, but people don't have that. A lot of people don't have the extra knowledge that they would need to protect themselves against whatever may happen. No, not often that a brand is going to mess you over or lie about the content, but it does happen, and you want to make sure that you have the right documentation and the right terminology in your contract to protect yourself. Also, with usage, you want to pay attention to the duration of the usage rights. So if they're like, we're going to use this same photo and add a Facebook ad to it for 30 days. Okay, that's going to be a different extra charge than if you want to use it for 60 days or 90 days or for a year. You want to use my likeliness, my face, my brand to promote your product from the content that I created. Do you see? You see how I feel like y'all feeling me? Y'all feeling me? Because like the more we adding on, the more I realize like I need to be charging more. Where's my manager? Like, and kind of on that same topic of protecting yourself and protecting your brand and you and your image and all that, add a termination clause or a kill clause, as some people refer to it, so that if you do not complete the deliverables, or if they do not complete whatever service or product they're supposed to provide to you, so you're able to create the content, so you have a way out. Think about it like this. I receive a product, I take the photo, I spend all my time hiring a photographer, taking the content, editing the content, uploading the content, come up with a caption, researching the hashtags, trying to decide where my insights are so I can decide when's the best time to post, engaging with my audience to prepare them for this content that's going to drop on Monday, and then Monday gets here, I drop the content and they don't pay me. Or I submit the content and they're like, oop, never mind, we changed our mind, we don't want to go with it. I just spent 3, 4, 5 days, a week, a month, however long, preparing for this content, prepping this content, taking this content, working on this content, submitting the content, and then you say never mind. So with that, you need to add in a quick little kill clause. Like, if I go through the entire process, I'm gonna get this amount of money. If the other party cancels the contract, you just need to do it. And I know it seems like, why would I need to do that, or it's scary? You don't, okay, what's scary is when you done spend all your hours working on this content, you submit it to them, they said never mind, and that was your bill money for that month. Guess what? Your electricity company don't care that they want to do the contract no more. No, but seriously, I'm joking, but like, this is serious, and this is real. Like, this actually happens. It actually happens. And with this, you yourself want to make sure that you are following all the terms and everything you've agreed to, which is why I have this motto, and I'm sure you guys have heard it. I undercommit and over-deliver. Have you ever heard that? So basically, in the back of my head, I already know that if I agree to do like 1 Instagram and feed post and 3 Instagram story frames, I'm gonna do like 5 or 6 or 7 Instagram story frames and maybe do like a carousel photo if I can get, you know, more than 1 photo. I'm going to deliver more than I committed to, but I'm always going to meet that initial obligation. So whenever I'm negotiating, I make sure that I somewhat undercommit. Not that I'm not going to give the best quality or do my best work or make sure that it's my best, because of course, but I want to give myself a little bit of grace, a little bit of breathing room where I can add in something extra, say, oh, I also threw this in, or I also added this, and or if I was going to do a 30-minute video, I add in like a little reel or something, or just add in a little bit something to show the brand like, I really enjoyed this product, I really enjoyed working with you, look what else I can provide you outside of what I have agreed to. I gave you more. Like, that's always, you want to give more, but you don't want to commit to the more and then you got to do more on top of that, or you just do that and it's just, you see what I'm saying. So also, when it comes to duration and kind of going back on like the time and date when things are due, give yourself grace. There's been too many times where I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that, oh yeah, I can do that, oh yeah, I can do that, oh I can do that, and then like life happens, or I just get caught up in something and it takes me longer to do the content, and I'm like, dang, I have to get it up today, I got 30 minutes, and then it's sloppy and it's not your best work. Like, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're not able to give your best work because you overcommitted. and you didn't realize like technology sometimes acts up. I could be trying to upload a video right then, and YouTube's like, ha, we're not gonna work today. Or Instagram's like, ha, we're gonna mess up today and you can't upload and post nothing. So you wanna give yourself some grace and also communicate with the brand, because again, life is going to happen. But if you can tell, like, if it's 2 days from the post date and you can already tell, like, I'm not gonna make it, send them an email. Hey, I know we agreed on this date. I had a personal matter come up. Is there any way I can push it back? Or would I be able to post it 3 days from now instead of 2? Will we be able to renegotiate the date? If not, you gotta just put your head down and get to work. But they understand if something happens, especially if there's like a social crisis going on in our country. People are going to understand. If you have a death in your family or something like that, something that's unfortunate, or even just something that you just are just behind, and you just tell them, tell the company beforehand. I've been in both positions where I told them last minute and it didn't feel good, or I've been in a position where I told them ahead of time and they appreciated that, even if I do end up getting it done on that day, which is fine. It's all about communicating, because you have this contract that is solid. You just want to make sure that both parties are in agreement of what's going on even after the contract is done. Kind of a tangent, but I hope that was helpful. And really quickly, I just want to touch on the federal, I had to look down, y'all, Federal Trade Commission or FTC rules or guidelines, regulations, which they tell you that you have to disclose if something is sponsored or gifted. Make sure you do that. I know it happens more often to like bigger YouTubers. I'm not a big YouTuber, y'all. Like, no shade to y'all. I love y'all, all the numbers. I love y'all, internet family. But I know it is an issue when you, the more you grow, the bigger of a problem it can be, is what I'm trying to say. So you want to make sure you're just starting it off early. Like, this is gifted, put it in the description box. If you look at my description box, I even have a disclosure that I am a licensed attorney, but this is not legal advice. It's not attorney-client privilege, attorney-client relationship being established, etc. You have to do those kind of things depending on your area, but the FTC is required. If it's sponsored video, you need to have it on your page. On Instagram, same thing. If it's a paid partnership and you're able to tag the company, you have to do that. Put the hashtag ad, put the hashtag sponsored. I know for a lot of people that aren't in this industry, they're like, why do they keep doing that? It's really just by law we have to do that. So yes, you want to make sure you abide by the FTC regulations. And the purpose of the FTC is to protect consumers from unfair commercial practices, i.e. I'm selling you something and I'm not telling you that I'm selling you something, etc. That kind of stuff. So it's really for consumers, and myself as a consumer. I want to see, okay, this is sponsored, cool, great, and then I can make my own determination if you're only saying this because you're paid, etc. And y'all have to understand, a lot of times, I would say more times than not, when people are promoting something, it's not because they're getting paid. It's because they genuinely like it. Because we have a lot of say so. I'm like, I don't have to promote that. I personally, I don't care how much money you're trying to give me. I'm not promoting that because that's a lie. I'm not doing that. Or if a company's like, you need to say this, I'm not saying that. I don't know if I like it yet. Give me some time to try out the product. You can also do that. Let me test it out first. Let me see what you're working with, and then I'll promote it. But yeah, there's sometimes, like, for example, there's a company that I feel like everyone promotes. It's a skincare company. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I was like, everybody always using that. It can't be that good, and I promise y'all, it's that good. It's really good. I was like, dang, I like it too. Dang, let me get that sponsorship. You know, especially when it's a thing that you organically and naturally promote. Like, ain't nothing wrong with getting a little coin. Affiliate links, y'all, anybody can get affiliate links. Anybody can sign up for affiliate links. Sure, there's some that require you to apply and do that, but generally, anybody can get an affiliate link. Y'all welcome. Did it get darker? Is my light going out? Anyway, really quickly, because I think my light is going to go out, because my battery's about to die. But I also wanted to add another thing you need to highlight. Payment terms. How will you get paid? When will you get paid? You need to know this. This is a major key. A lot of times they say net 30 or net 60 or net 90, which just means 30 days, 90 days out from the date. So you need to check if it's the date you post. Is it the end of the month that you post? Is it the date of the agreement? Depending on if you already received the product or how you do that, like, it all varies. So you need to just read it to make sure you're on top of what's going on and you know what to expect. Because you would hate to think, oh, I'm going to get paid 30 days from October 1st. And then, because that's when you post, but then really they started at the end of October. So 30 days out from then. That's November. It's different. It's not the same. So you want to double check that. And also how you're getting paid. Are they sending you a check? Most of the time it's PayPal, something like that, because it's safe not only for you, but as well for the brand. So just make sure you double check that. You want to make sure that all that hard work you did, read in the contract, Okay, making sure it's perfectly drafted. And also, by the way, keep your own little drafted contract of a standard basic terms. Just do it, okay? Just do it. You can Google it, find a template. If you'd like to talk to me, I may provide templates. I don't know. I thought about it. That may be something I do because I have a ton of templates. I have templates for brands. I have templates for independent contractors, templates for potential employees, interns, all that. Contracts. You just need a contract. You need a contract. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. It's getting a little dark because my lights are all dying, but we're done with the video. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave me some comments down below. I know I was talking really fast. I just wanted to go through the information and not make it too confusing or too tedious. But if you have any additional questions or want to see follow-up videos, let me know. I didn't talk about copyright, trademark, or fair use, but I have no problem kind of touching on that in some other videos. Also, let me know if you like this kind of video where I'm giving you guys kind of legal tips and law tips. Just let me know. I promise my content isn't going to just do only this kind of stuff, but it's interesting to me, so I hope it's interesting to you. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Later!